The current definition of education technology specifically uses the term facilitation in respect to learning, to emphasize the fact that learning is controlled by the learner. Understanding behaviors, mental processes, and how we construct knowledge has added to our understanding of how people learn.
Assessment and evaluation are critical to evaluating successful implementation, although paper and pencil tests are challenged when assessing higher-level learning.
Education technology can help or hinder people in their pursuit of learning.
Learning for
each individual is the goal. A learner focuses on their abilities, responsibilities, and setting in order to create learning environments. In 1963, the definition centered on messages to control learning. Januszewski proposed that control was derived from the dominant theories of the time.
Behaviorist learning theory's focus was on consequences as a deciding factor.
Communication theory believed that processes were regulated by feedback.
In 1965, Hoban switched the focus from learning to management. In the 70s, the focus was on instruction, problem solving, and design. For example, the Commission on Instructional Technology used the expression, "bring about more effective instruction." Learners are not specifically mentioned in these definitions.
She then changed education's focus again, to the management of the learning problem. Between 1977 and 1994, the definition returned to the idea of involving people in the processes.
But it was Hynek that emphasized technology's commanding role in 1984.
Today, facilitating learning involves a complex organization of processes and resources, which puts an emphasis on learners' their interests and abilities, or disabilities.
A teacher using behaviorist theories would determine what the learner knew. Select an appropriate goal. Provide prompts and reinforcers. If we believe that learning is in the control of the teachers, then if the teachers work harder, students learn better. A slight variation of this view is learner-centric teaching. The teacher is accountable for results and the learner is seen as the recipient.
In a constructivist view, teachers and learners are seen as collaborators and co-producers of learning. Nothing happens until students do their part. Teachers and students are accountable for their own part.
As a parent, B.F. Skinner became interested in applying operant conditioning to academia. He created a teaching machine. His strategies became the technologies of teaching. Programmed tutoring replaced self-instruction. Tutoring added social reinforcers versus mere correct answers. Direct instruction provides fast-paced, continuous responses and reinforcers.
Behaviorism demonstrated that it is possible to achieve dramatic test gains through analysis of tasks, division into small steps, precise specifications, responses and feedback. Programmed instruction demonstrated that learners could work effectively at their own pace.
The problem with behavioral techniques is that the knowledge learned tends to be forgotten outside the classroom. Cognitivism attempts to explain mental functions. John Piaget theorized that children developed classification systems in which they assimilated and accumulated information. Information processing theory addressed the process of memory as it moved from sensory to short-term and long-term memory. New imaging technology allows neuroscientists to observe mental theories, focus on the presentation of content so it makes sense, is easy to remember, and expands the learner's mental schemata. Computers have advanced cognitivism from reception to engagement. From the classroom to the real world. From text to multiple representations. From coverage to mastery. From isolation to interconnection. From products to processes. From mechanics to understanding in the laboratory. Gandhi provided an example of a cognitive lesson framework. First, get their attention. Tell them clearly what they are expected to do. Remind them of their current knowledge on the subject. Demonstrate the new skill. Guide the learners with mnemonic devices, questions, or hints. Practice the new skill. Confirm correct responses. Test new knowledge. Transfer knowledge through on-the-job practice or simulated practice. Another, more recent example focuses on 5 phases. Gaining attention, linking to prior knowledge, organization of content, assimilation of knowledge, and strengthening retention and transfer.
Constructivist perspectives hold commanding heights of education research and development in a 21st century. Constructivists believe learners choose their own goals and paths. Constructivist principles include Embedding learning. Provide for social negotiation as an integral part of learning.
Provide for multiple perspectives.
Encourage ownership in learning.
Nurture self-awareness of the knowledge construction process. Situated cognition views all human thoughts as being conceived in a specific time, place, and social setting.
They are not transferred outside of that setting.
The Cognition and Technology group at Vanderbilt used active realistic stories versus lectures.
These video materials have often been cited for multimedia design within constructivist frameworks.
Problem-based learning has been used in medical education for decades. These environments overlap anchored instruction, but emphasize first-hand involvement versus observation. Vygotsky's sociocultural knowledge is represented best in collaborative learning. Computer collaborative learning is presently the most prominent type of collaborative learning.
Assessment in these classrooms must be authentic, focused on performance, use complex and meaningful activities, be based on construction of knowledge, and be conducted through observation, presentation, and other realistic, real-world-based activities.
This presentation on learning facilitation through education technology has been based on Chapter 2 of the book Education Technology.